Have you ever stopped to recognize how powerful language can be? It can make you really, really happy, really sad, very excited, terrified, oh, and it can create a great deal of stress. That stress will permeate every area of your life. We are going to give you some actionable tools you can use right now to recognize when your words might be causing you stress. And as we all know, that's the first step to taking control.
I love it. It's the control part that I like. Anyway, this is Tara and Roxanne, and we're here to help you calm your mind so you can enjoy your life. We say that a lot, but I really want you to pick up that sentence apart for a second. Calm and enjoy your life. Are you kidding me? It's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you haven't already, go ahead and in the link below in the description is our 3-step guide to reducing your stress this week. It is an absolute free guide from us to you, no strings attached, and there are 3 succinct, actionable steps. There might be a bonus one in there, so there might be 4.
Nice.
You're going to have to download it to find out. It is our gift to you. It will help you this week just kind of calm down a little bit, take some of the burden off, and let us know how it went for you.
All right, Roxanne.
Okay.
The words that we choose.
Yes, choose. We do, yeah. So if you ever notice that, like, we can have 2 different descriptions of the same event, and they can evoke completely different emotions, right? Like,
I'm going to work this holiday so I can make some extra money.
Perfect. Yeah. Other people think, oh, I need the day off. Like, this is horrible. We have to work this holiday. So one person's like, I'm making double the amount of money for doing the exact same job. Mm-hmm. And the other one is upset because they have to work on a day they'd rather have off. So you can see how it's a matter of perspective. And not only the way that we view it, but the way that we explain it. Like, one person's going to go home that day and go, yay, guess what? We're going to have extra money. Christmas is coming. This is fantastic. And the other one's going to go, oh, my boss is horrible.
Right. Can't believe they made me work.
Right. So the words are going to evoke different things. Yeah.
All right. There's also exaggerated language. Yes. I'm good at that.
Are you?
I'm really good at that.
We all have our gifts.
Yes.
Exaggerated language and is intended. That's the whole point of it, is to evoke an emotional response from the person that we're talking to, right? If we're overwhelmed or frustrated, we want them to feel that from us, and we want them to meet us there. So they can either give us sympathy, empathy, glory. We can, maybe they can soothe us because we're either unwilling or unable to do those things for ourselves. So we kind of take who we're talking to on an emotional roller coaster.
But unfortunately, doesn't those provoking words really kind of backfire a little bit?
Well, it's a twofer, because we do evoke that emotion from another person if they're willing to just go on that ride with us. But inevitably, we're not just getting that payoff. We're actually paying a bigger price because we end up creating those emotions and the damaging stress within ourselves. Right? Even if we don't mean what we're saying, we're just using it as a tool. It doesn't matter, because you end up creating all sorts of beliefs and nastiness inside.
It takes a toll on you over time, doesn't it?
It does. It absolutely does.
So the solution is to practice doing the opposite, or what are we doing?
So practice this, and this is going to take some intention. So you're going to have to really do this with some forethought. Saying everything in actual factual statements. Then add in your feelings about it so you can get the two separated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm driving my car and there's somebody in front of me. And I'm trying not to have road rage.
Right.
But it's going on for a while.
Yeah.
So
when you come home, you say, I was driving behind somebody who was driving slow. We were behind him for like 4 exits. And I could feel myself getting more and more frustrated.
Got it.
You state the facts, then say how you felt. It separates them so you don't just go off on this tangent about how no one can drive and all of these things.
Exaggerated terminology. Okay,
yes.
Got it. I get that. Okay.
Also,
Mhm.
When you find yourself using exaggerated language, it usually be after the fact.
True.
Right? You can go, "Ooh, yeah, that was a little dramatic." You can ask yourself why. What were you needing in that moment? What were you trying to evoke? No judgment. Do not judge yourself. There's no benefit in that whatsoever. And many times you'll realize that you feel dismissed or misunderstood or taken advantage of, or you're feeling a little insecure. And so it's really important to notice that so you can
Recognize
separate the
that
two.
versus.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what about something called paralyzing stress?
Yes.
Roxanne?
Oh my gosh. Broad statements. When we use language, they just paralyze us. I mean, not literally.
No, but they do
but
in our
our
thinking
movement.
and in our.
In
Yeah.
our action taking, we just
Mhm.
stop. So when we use language to make broad statements about things, like we
I've
just
tried everything to lose weight.
right, it creates a situation that is unmanageable. It's impossible to manage. So we just don't. We just don't do anything, and then we'll well, I'm a procrastinator or whatever that is, which is also a bad thing to do. But if we're saying, yeah, I have a million things to do, I'll never get it all done, or you can't trust anyone.
So now I've given myself the permission to use this as an excuse when I don't get the things done I was trying to get done,
Right.
or however I'm processing it in my mind.
Well, the emotion behind that is that you're overwhelmed, right? Or you're frustrated, or
Got
you're a little insecure. I don't know how to do this, so it just made it big. Now this is the excuse. Everything's too much to do, whatever that looks like, to not do anything. This is the excuse you gave yourself. Unfortunately, you can't BS yourself. We can BS others if we're good. Some people are really good at that, but we can't do it to ourselves, and so you end up feeling guilty and shame, and then self-loathing starts again. So it's just a terrible cycle. So when we only look and talk about the big pictures, we're going to get stressed every time. That's the bottom line.
Isn't there a saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step?
From my favorite book
Your
ever,
favorite book.
my favorite book, I've read it a million times, I have it in my bag. The Tao Te Ching, Lao Tse said that like 2,500 years ago or a little more.
Wow, smart dude.
Profound.
Profound.
But the fact is, it starts with one step. But when you are looking at the whole thing, you can't see that one step, much less manage it. You can't do it. So I'll give you an example. I get overwhelmed if I look at my messy garage.
Oh,
My garage is messy. I don't know where to start
got it.
because it gets overwhelming. So I don't start. I just close the door.
That's a technique.
Whereas somebody who's very organized goes, "Ooh, I see organization here, and I'm going to implement it," and I just go. So
Paralyzing.
Yeah.
Got
Do you
it.
have anything like that?
Mm-mm.
No, you're
I'm not a procrastinator in the slightest, so I don't know.
got
I
it.
get paralyzed in other ways.
Got it.
When I don't know something,
Ah,
then I'm
You
paralyzed.
hit
I have to
freeze.
know what I'm talking about, or whoop, I'm all done.
got it. I can't do the whoop. I like that. All right. So here's what you do. Be mindful. Be aware. Again, much like the first one, be very intentional. Catch yourself with these broad, exaggerating statements and notice them. Then ask yourself, is it true? Because you're going to find out, of course, it's not true that everything in the whole world is any one thing. What fear is coming up for me surrounding this? What's making me leap to that and feel so anxious inside and make broad statements? So break each situation down into actionable steps, single steps. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a
One
time.
bite at a time. Yeah. So, and reframe everything as a choice. All of your have-tos get to be choose-tos.
I like
And
that.
if you choose not to on one of your have to, you just go, I have to do this, but I'm not going to get it done. Instead, you go, do I choose to do this? No. Totally fine. No guilt.
Wow, I like
No
that.
guilt. Do I choose to work out today?
That's a you power kind
Yes.
of move.
Oh, 1,000%.
Terrifically.
1,000%. And it takes some of that anxiety off.
I bet it
so-
takes the stress right out of the whole thing.
Exactly. So I don't have to do the dishes. I choose to do the dishes because I enjoy a clean kitchen and I like a clean plate to eat off of. Right?
Okay.
That's a choice.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
Or a dirty plate. You can do whatever you want.
So the last and the big one,
Yes. This is a hummer.
yes. Do you want to do that one, or do you want me to do that one?
Well, we can start talking about it together.
Yeah.
It's how we talk to ourselves. I struggle with this. As you know, I'm on this journey with you because I'm catching up to Roxanne. I'm not sure when I'll get there. But it's that self-talk thing.
Yeah.
You've got to catch it.
Yes.
We talk to ourselves, an enormous impact on our self-worth.
Oh, 1,000%. And, you may just be using negative statements sometimes. You're talking to somebody and you kind of put yourself down a little bit, but you don't mean it, right? You may just be saying it to get, it's kind of like bait, right? To get a compliment, or maybe it's a preemptive strike in case you are about to fail at something because it's new. So if you hit it first, then you won't be embarrassed afterwards.
Right.
We do this for different reasons. Sometimes we do it just to make other people more comfortable. But the fact is, those statements actually slowly corrode, sometimes not so slowly.
Erode away at your...
Yes. At your self-image. And you end up
Yeah.
forming beliefs whether you did it intentionally or not. So you think, oh, I'm so dumb, or I'm so clumsy, or, I never know what to do. These are not good statements. You got to stop that right now.
Nix it.
Yes.
But, Roxanne, being humble is different from that self-degrading thing.
That is one of the most common things I hear when I've had this language conversation with people is, well, I'm just being humble. I don't want to be braggadocious. I don't want to come off like a, careless jerk. But being humble is different than being obnoxious, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
you've got to own your talents and your gifts and promote those when the time's right. You just don't need to be a jerk about it.
Yes. Being humble is, it's knowing what you're good at, owning that. And when you really own it, you don't need the rest of the world to hear about it, first of all. So being humble is knowing it, owning it, and you also own what you don't know. You're okay to say, I know what I don't know, right? I don't know what I don't know.
Sure.
And that's okay. You're just not beating people over the head with it. You're not shoving it in their face so they can feel less than so you can feel better. If you need to do that, you don't really own it. But the whole little rant about being humble there is that we want to remove that excuse for when you degrade yourself, because that's not being humble.
Right.
Dimming down so you can be more comfortable or so somebody else can is not being humble. It's just being mean.
Well, and that rolls into being mindful when you do put yourself down, because you're just beating yourself up, and you're internally, that self-talk is just bad.
So all of these stages where you're either talking to other people and just trying to get a reaction out of them so you can get what you need from them, sympathy, what have you,
right?
Or these broad statements to avoid having to complete something, or talking to yourself. Fact is, you don't have to mean them at the time, but over time they are going to permeate your beliefs. And the way to do that is to prove that to yourself is when you do mess up on something and you make a mistake, which you should be making daily, ideally. Have you made any today?
I've made a bunch.
Oh, good for you. You should be
so.
making at least one mistake every day. Listen to what your mind automatically says, because you'll probably notice it's going to start telling you, oh, you're not good enough, or that thing you said last week about you being whatever is true. Right? Now you've formed beliefs. So it's not a good. So what does your mind say when you mess up? Think about that. So in conclusion, we'll wrap this up because we could go all day and nobody wants that. Well,
Words are powerful in positive and negative ways, for sure.
Yep. When we choose our words, we create certain words we use create stress.
Yes.
And so we really need to use the steps that we mentioned earlier after each point. So
reviewing those.
Yeah.
We reframe everything as a choice. Instead of a choice. It becomes something that gives you your personal power and reduces your stress.
And catch yourself without judgment. That is the caveat. Every time you're having a conversation with somebody afterwards and you notice you use maybe dramatic language, just notice it and go, what was my point there? What was I really needing from that interaction? Why did I do that? And when you're dimming yourself and not quite able, you'll learn how to own your gifts without being a jerk.
Well, and
So,
didn't you say you'll pay attention and then you'll recognize your shifted belief? You're going to shift that belief
Yes.
that you've got. It
Yes.
take time.
It takes a little time. Depends on how deep the belief is. You know you. You take the steps and you do it for as long as you need to. But you deserve to not have that stress. You deserve to have that burden lifted, and you can lift it. Use these tools. Make it easier. Get out there and enjoy your life. That's the whole point. That's why we're here.
And also, the last thing is write down
Mm.
3 good qualities
Yes.
about yourself.
Yes.
This is good. This
Yeah.
is good. This
I
is
think
important.
so too. I think so too. And if you can't write it down, that's okay. List them in your head.
Absolutely.
You need to repeat them to yourself. I'll
Absolutely.
say that to you, and then you say that to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Repeat 'em.
We're helping each other. This is Tara and Roxanne, and we're here to help you calm your mind so you can enjoy your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't forget the free download for the 1 week to reduce your stress. The 3 steps rather in that guide. It's in the description below.
And it's great.
And it's great. Start today.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.